about to watch is our first episode of what we'd like to call Lost Tapes. These are our episodes and investigations that never got posted. They're from around 12 years ago, leading up to current. We have a few investigations that just never got compiled, and I have started compiling these episodes so that you, the viewer, might be able to finally see them. As you can see, we've come a long way from where we started in 2008. The following investigation is over the Waseda plant. The Waseda plant was a factory in Cardin, Oklahoma. You might know it as Picher Cardin, which is now the ghost town that got closed down in 2008. We heard there was a manager that worked at the factory that, as far as I know, must have lost his mind and chose to hang himself. We hear that he still haunts the grounds today. We also have accounts from two locals who decided to go and do a little paranormal investigating themselves. All following accounts are true and have been unedited to the best of our ability. We hope you enjoy. Hi, my name is Matthew Morrison with the Ottawa County Paranormal Research and Investigation Team. Today we will be interviewing Derek Hayworth about his investigation into one of the mills in Cardin.
On Monday, January 11th, 2010, me and a friend of mine, we've been doing a little bit of paranormal hunting ourselves. We went out to an old factory in Cardin, Oklahoma. When we arrived, we got this weird eerie feeling that something had been watching us for a while. We looked around, there was no way to get in, and because we wanted to go in, because we had weird stories that this place had some pretty weird stuff going on in it. It's about a 5-story building, and it's all one big room. It just has ledges around the inside, and a guy we talked to who used to work out there, he said that he's seen things climbing up the stairs, like out of his corner of his eyes. So we wanted to just go in there and check it out. We didn't have any flashlights. We had cheap apps on our phones, EMF detectors, which they, from my experience, they do work pretty good. As we were walking along the side of the building checking like doors and stuff, the EMF detector would spike a little bit, not a lot. There's an old lot we're going to get into, but there's a barbed wire fence that ran across the top of it where you can't climb over. And we were thinking about it, we shot a light up there, we seen it, and about that time the barbed wire fence kind of fell over, allowing us to peel it back. It, like, come on in, is what it was saying to us. So we peeled it back, and Chris jumped over. And me and another guy were standing there at the gate, and as soon as he jumped over, he dropped his phone on the ground, and that's the only source of light we had was our phones. He dropped his phone on the ground. When he was picking it up, he seen footsteps from the light. He seen footsteps in the snow, and the indentions in the snow were only about 1 inch, and we had like 6 inches of snow on the ground. He was tracing them back further into the lot, and we were still at the gate, and we traced them back to the gate and noticed where they walked through the gate and out towards the road. And at the time we thought, they opened the gate, walked through, and they were just little bitty footsteps.
About how big would you say?
Started out, before it went into the fence, 4 inches, about like that. And then as he kept going, they kept getting bigger and bigger. He said by the time he got there, they were bigger than an average man's footsteps, and they never went any deeper into the snow, just about 1 inch indention in the snow. And where we were walking, we were making indentions all the way down to the dirt. So, and the footsteps were in a straight line, like one right in front of another, not side by side like anything would ever make. It wasn't no animal, because they looked like human footsteps, like a shoe indention, but like like if you were wearing a sock and you went walking. So, and he made it out there, and then he stopped, and he said he felt like he was being circled and closed in by demons, by like evil presence, and he's never experienced anything before, and he didn't, and he's not the type of the guy that would make something like that. When he started heading back, me and the other guy that was standing at the fence heard a huge metal door like swing open, like squeaking, and then a bang, like it hit like whatever it stops it. So we ran and got back in the truck, and he came, jumped the fence, and then he got in the truck and we left. He went home that night. He woke up the next morning and told me about a dream he had. He said he was walking out there, and it was so real. It felt so real, this dream. Said that he jumped the fence, walked out there. He just dreamed exactly what we had, but instead of feeling circled like demons, he seen the demons. And he said it was nothing. He said, I could never even imagine something that looked like that. He said it was just like I seen them.
What did they look like? Did he describe them to you?
He said big, evil-looking beast. He said they all look different. So he didn't go into detail on any of them. But and then you know, we were kind of curious at that state. So 2 nights later, I believe this was Wednesday night, or it may have been the next night, but I think it was Wednesday night. We went back out there, and we went snooping around again. Well, one of the doors that we had checked, that was shut tight, it was pried back. It was like just it was pried back enough to where we could crawl through it, is what it was. We shot, and we still didn't have no flashlights because none of us have any flashlights. But we went, walked around again. We didn't have our EMF detectors this time, but we walked around, and this is when we started to feel heavy presence, like we were being watched, like something was breathing down our backs, is what we felt like. So we also heard a bunch more banging, like what it would sound like if you dropped a metal pipe on the floor. We heard that several times. And then whenever it got so surreal that we left is whenever we started hearing stuff outside beside us on the fence. We heard like clanging on the fence, and I thought it was the wind at first, but it wasn't, because the wind would stop blowing and the clanging would continue in a weird pattern, like dunk, 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 dunk. So we jumped in and we left. So all that took place on a Friday night. The next day, Chris was home alone, and my niece had came down. Me and my niece were playing in the living room. She had a tent set up, and she was in there. And this was about dark. This would have been Saturday that this all happened. We went out there Friday night. We came home on Saturday. He was home alone, and I was playing with my niece. And it got dark. My niece was in the tent, and me and my little brother were trying to scare her.
The tent was inside, right?
Yeah, the tent was in the living room, set up in the living room. The little tent, little kid's tent, set up in the living room. So I turned all the lights out and was like shaking the tent, trying to scare her and everything, you know, having a good time. And I see a silhouette, like a black silhouette of like a person walking down the hallway, and I heard a bang in the hallway, and I saw the silhouette walking down the hallway, and it walked into my kitchen. And I was waiting for the light to flick on because I thought it was my stepdad. And I was waiting for the light to flick on because we were making a lot of noise. We probably woke him up. The light never flicked on. I waited a minute. I flicked the light on. I turned all the lights on. No one was up. My brother asked me what I was staring at. I had to tell him later because I didn't want to scare anybody else, like my little sister or nothing, or my niece. But I told him about it, and then I never even told my little sister about it. The next morning, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. I was still up. Everybody else had gone to bed. I was up on the computer, and I heard banging all throughout my house. sounded like banging on the walls, banging in the attic. And this is whenever I really thought something bad was following us. This was this morning. But we went out there last night too. So see, I forgot all about that. After all that happened, after the silhouette, Chris comes to pick me up again. We go out there again, and I was doing research on Google. We go out there again, and the research said if you think you're being followed home by a demon or anything, you need to go back, apologize, and during every encounter you have with, if you go to a spot that's got paranormal activity, you need to say thank you. We mean you no harm. We're just coming to investigate. We just want to see what we could do for you. We thank you. Please do not follow us home. But and then I got home that night. I was sitting on the computer. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. I heard banging all throughout my house, banging in the attic. And that's when I really started to know that something had followed us home.
What about Chris? You said followed us home. What about Chris?
Chris has also been seeing, he'd never seen anything. He heard a bang in his house and heard a man running down the hallway. Like heard somebody running down the hallway, like a huge, like a big person, not like a little kid or nothing. It sounded like a full-grown man running down the hallway. Dunk, 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 dunk. And then a little while later, he was laying in bed. He had a friend over. They were laying in bed. The dog, his dog was laying on the bed with him. The dog started barking, or they heard a noise in the living room. The dog jumped up and was like looking at the hall, growling and barking at the hallway. And now I'm still doing research on how to try to get it, go to church, pray out loud, don't want to be followed home by demons.
We went to this warehouse, alright? It's me, Derek, Travis. There was snow on the ground. We were walking around the property. I hopped the fence to get inside on the property, and there was little footprints. They were like that big. And they were like in a single line. They weren't like regular human or animal footprints or whatever. Like they were just like in a straight line, and they were like too small to be anything. And as I kept getting closer to this building, they kept getting bigger and bigger. And they were still in a straight line. And I just had like the weirdest feeling like someone was around me watching me. And I ended up going back to the truck before I got to the building that they were leading to. And like before I even hopped the fence, we were seeing shadows move in front of a light in that building that the footsteps were leading to. So we leave. That night I have a nightmare. Never have nightmares ever. I'm in the middle of that field and there's demons dancing around me, like watching me. Well, I was in that same exact field in the same exact spot I was. So next day, whatever, I'm sitting on my bed playing my guitar. I'm home alone. No one's there. And I hear someone run down my hall. No one was there. I was just like, holy crap. Then a couple days later, I was getting in the shower, had the door locked, set my towel up on the
Counter.
Yeah, the counter. Got out of the shower. My towel was across the bathroom in the floor on the other side of the bathroom. That's happened like 2 or 3 times. And then one time, the very last thing that has ever happened, nothing's happened after this. I was sitting on my bed, like sitting to the side, and I had a blanket leaning over. And I looked over, and the blanket just like uncovered like the corner of itself. And nothing was on my bed that could have moved it. I didn't move it because I wasn't even touching the thing. It was just nothing. It was weird. That was pretty much the only things that happened to me.
Okay, this is our daytime investigation of the Waseda plant, just to get the feel for it, so we know what to do when we're at night.
You hear that ringing noise?
Yeah.
I do too. I like those bowls out here for like an animal. Let's see what.
Pick anything up.
This is a video of him cleaning the lens for proof that it is cleaned, and so that most likely it does not dust particles if we do record anything.
Okay, this is our investigation of the Waseda plant in Cardin, Oklahoma. It's this is our nightly investigation around the perimeter to see if we can find any EVPs or EMS for now. Just let them know, any spiritual entities out here, we do not mean you any harm, and we would like that favor returned. We are just here to find out stuff about you, who you are, why you're here, and to help you go to heaven where you should be. Help you move along the process of passing on.
Why are you here? What is your name?
Are you human or demon? Do you wish anyone harm? Someone is apparently calling me.
Are you male or female?
What type of demon are you, if you are a demon?
Are you lost?
Would you like help?
Did you guys get anything out there?
We just wanted records of your existence. So if you would please say something. Anything, say anything. You can even make this meter go off. Right here or right here. For us to let us know that you're here. You do anything to make his little meter go off and make it beep. You can talk into this. If you move the fence, anything, let us know that you're here. Did you die by an accident in this plant? Do you know somebody who has? We want to help you. You can move something in the plant. You hear me? If you're in there and you can't be out here, move something inside, let us know. Please let us know that you are here.
What? Are you scared?
I don't think anybody's here. You won't help, that's fine. I don't know about you guys, but I'm hearing something over there in the woods. Yeah.
Something about that fence over there that I don't like.
If you're over in the woods, will you please come over here and talk to us? Talk to this, talk to me.
I think we should go now.
As you can see, back in the old day, we didn't have very good equipment. So a lot of our video was black, unfortunately. We did not have the IR lighting to really brighten up our scenery around us. While Derek and Chris's story is very interesting, we were unable to find any specific evidence other than EMF fluctuations proving that the factory was haunted. After this paranormal event and a few others, Derek Hayworth decided to go ahead and join Pale Horse Investigations later on. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to sharing more lost tapes with you as they are compiled and ready to be posted. If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. It means a lot to us.